Well, I'd like to welcome Roy Bruninghouse with us from the third board, and you got a lot to talk about coming up.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you folks just had your, I want to say election, but honestly, it ended up being two folks that came onto the board.
Yeah.
And that leaves you with one vacancy because one of the board members dropped out, right?
Yes, he dropped out before the election. So
yeah.
We have one vacancy on third board, and we're anxious to have folks apply. The applications close on October 30th, and we will be making decisions after that. This will be an appointed board member by the board as opposed to being elected by everybody to fulfill Jules's term.
Yeah.
And then we're also looking for a third mutual rep for the VMS board. And those applications also close on October 30th.
Right, yeah.
And so we hope we're going to get some good candidates for that position too. So it's very good. So we're looking for 2 volunteers.
Okay. Now, on the VMS board, how long is that for? Is that for a year?
That's for a 3-year term.
Oh, it is? Okay.
That's for a 3-year term, yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right, very good.
We did an awful lot last week, as you know.
Yeah.
We passed 3 resolutions that required no 30 days. The 30 days was up, so these are now part of the law. And we also passed a number of resolutions that we're going to put on 30-day review. So after the 30 days, these we'll bring them up again. I do want to mention the fact that our November board meeting has been changed to November 29th.
Right.
9:30 in the boardroom. So we'll be talking about these resolutions on 30 days at that point. But I did want to talk about a couple of these resolutions that relate to each other. There are 2 resolutions, the Common Area Policy and the Yellow Stake Program.
Okay.
They both have to do with common area. And I think part of the problem we've had is, we've gotten much more restrictive in terms of giving away common area to owners. And there are a bunch of good reasons for that. A lot of people don't understand what they actually own when they live in a condo. They own the unit, inside the unit to the paint.
Yeah.
And that's all. And they don't own anything outside except for the outside of their doors and windows, because the windows and doors are considered part of the interior.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is common area. And so a lot of people don't understand that, that little area around their front porch or their breezeway or whatever, that all belongs to the common owners, which are all of us in a common interest development. So it's important to understand that. It provides protection because, in fact, the association insures all of that common area. So, the unit owner only has to insure inside the unit, and you get an HO6 policy. It's much less expensive than a full homeowner's policy. But it also creates problems for people who, where they are able, want to have the board give them additional common area so they can build out what they think is, the rest of their area. There is such a thing called exclusive use, and exclusive use common area is still common area. Yeah. But it includes your balconies and your patios.
All right.
So a lot of people get confused about it. And again, common area is called common area because we live in a common interest development. We all own that together collectively. Right. Now, you and I can't go out and identify our little square, 1 foot square part of that. Reminds me of when my mother bought part of this island that they were trying to preserve off of Cape Cod. Yeah. I think her square footage was about 2 square feet. And of course, the mutual, as you know, maintains all of that common area. So we get in there and fix things and take care of things and so forth, whether it's buildings or whether it's landscape. The other reason that, and so we get to the Yellow Stake program, which we had put on hold, and now we've basically ended it. And there are a number of reasons for that. First of all, it was not tracked very well. and it tended to be abused. People start, you give them an inch, they take a mile. They start planting from here to here, and then the next thing you know, they're planting from here to here, and they're not necessarily planting with drought-tolerant plants. And that was the main reason we did this, because we want control of this landscape, and we want to convert it to a drought-tolerant California landscape where we use less water.
Right.
Because we are in a drought, and it doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. I think this has become kind of the new normal.
Right.
So it's very important that whatever we do, and we are really going to focus on this year. We've appropriated a couple of $100,000 to get started, but we're looking at this conversion. We've been talking with consultants who design these landscapes. If you go over to Great Park, for example, in Irvine, you don't see a blade of grass over there. They got rid of all the grass. They have the most beautiful ground cover. And we've been showing pictures in our landscape committee meetings to our residents, and they like it. It's beautiful. If you go over to Soku University, they have done a marvelous job over there. They do have some lawns, by the way. I have to talk to them about that. So those are the two that were passed and are done.
Okay.
Actually, Yellowstake is on 30-day, but the common area is done. And the other two that I want to talk about are the key file program and the vacant manor policy and procedure. And those are linked, because if you have a manor that you have not occupied more than or for 6 months or more, we're going to inspect it.
Right.
And what we're looking for is leaks, bugs, anything that would cause problems for anybody who's living next to it or below it, so because we all live kind of together, except for some of the folks in Gate 11, they have their own standalones. So the key file program is an integral part of that, because if you're going away, and it's going to be unoccupied for more than 6 months, you need leave a key. And even if it doesn't have anything to do with an unoccupied manor, it's a good idea to give community services your key.
For security reasons,
For security, for if you lock yourself out, you can save $200 for a locksmith. And if you fall down, as a lady did in my building, and her door was locked and the emergency services couldn't get in, and thank God her caregiver owned a unit next door, he had her key. But if he hadn't had her key and it wasn't deposited in our lockbox program, those emergency people, they'll go right through that door. And then you're paying, you're paying a lot of money to get that fixed. I used to be a volunteer fireman. I've seen those guys go through doors. And, it ain't cheap to replace them, and you have to replace them because it's your door. So it's a great program. And the keys are under, as you know, we've got, 2 security cameras facing the safe where the keys are. You get a certificate, you get your key number, so you put that in a safe place. And then if something happens, they can zip right, or call security, they'll come zipping down there with a key. It saves a lot of money and time. So those are the 2 ones I want to talk about. And finally, I want to talk about, we just got through not only approving, but putting in place our non-emergency maintenance chargeable services. And you can get this fine brochure down at Resident Services that's down there now. And what we tried to do here, this is not the same thing as the handyman program. This is professional services that are not emergency, such as carpentry services, if you need your door lock changed, if you need repair to your sliding screen doors. These are things that you would normally have to go outside the village to get somebody. And our prices are very competitive. And if you don't believe me, go out on Home Advisor and ask them how much the plumber's going to charge to come fix your toilet. But we have electrical services, we have plumbing, we have paving. If you've got stain and oil on your driveway, we'll come clean it up.
There's a lot.
There's a lot
offer.
here. And they're professional services. That you would spend a lot more if you went outside the gate. So we're real happy.
True.
So that's, we've got a procedure in place for that. You go down, you sign up, And I volunteered at the board meeting last week. I was going to be the first board member to go down there because I've got some things I got to fix this toilet. You know, the float doesn't go up and down the way it should. So I'm going to be one of the first ones down there.
All right. Very good.
That's it for this week.
All right. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a good day today?
So far.
All right. Very good.
So far.
All right.
It's Monday.
Thank you very much. And again,
thanks.
The third meeting will be coming up in November. We still got a ways away. We'll remind you a few times that it's at the end of November on the 29th, not the regular date.
Good.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.